My sister called and said, "The ex who nearly killed you is in town, looking for you and your baby." Suddenly I couldn't breathe and my daughter felt so fragile in my hands, like if I blinked she'd disappear. My sister said, "Don't panic," but someone saw him at a gas station near the state line. Maybe it's just a coincidence. But I knew it wasn't. My sister didn't know about the text I'd gotten last week from an unknown number. "How's the baby?" At the time I'd blocked it and told myself it couldn't be him. But I knew then, and I knew now. I pulled my daughter from the bath and wrapped her in a towel, my hands shaking so badly I could barely hold her. Jackson wasn't supposed to know where I lived, and he definitely wasn't supposed to know about the baby. The last time I'd seen him, I was unconscious on our kitchen floor with 3 broken ribs, miraculously not losing the pregnancy I'd been hiding from him. That was the last straw. I ran and never looked back. I carried Lily to her nursery and locked every window, checking them all twice. She was only 10 months old, just starting to pull herself up on furniture, completely defenseless against someone who'd once broken my arm for coming home 10 minutes late. I'd moved 800 miles to keep her safe from him, changed my name, deleted all social media, and started over. Now all I could think about was that text and the way it was phrased. Not, "Do you have a baby?" but, "How's the baby?" Like he already knew everything. I put Lily in her crib and went to the window, scanning the street. Cars were parked where they always were. But was that sedan new? Then my phone buzzed with another unknown number, and I didn't want to look, but I had to. The message said, "She has your eyes." My legs gave out and I slid down the wall, trying not to scream because I didn't want to scare Lily. He'd seen her somewhere, been close enough to see her eyes, and I didn't even know when or where. The park yesterday when she was on the swings? The grocery store where she always smiled at strangers from the cart? I called 911, but what could I say? They'd tell me to file a restraining order, but paper wouldn't stop Jackson. I hung up before they answered and called my landlord, begging him to change the locks immediately, but he said he could come by tomorrow, and tomorrow might be too late. I grabbed a kitchen chair and wedged it under the front door handle, then did the same with the back door. Lily started crying with that normal baby cry that suddenly sounded so loud it felt like a beacon calling him to us. I picked her up and she grabbed my hair, babbling "Mama, Mama" like she always did. So innocent, with no idea that her father was a monster who'd once held a knife to my throat for talking to a male cashier. Another text came through, "Nice apartment. Ground floor was a bad choice." I ran to the bedroom with Lily and locked that door too. It was getting dark outside with every passing car making me jump. Footsteps echoed on the sidewalk and I told myself it was just someone walking their dog. But what if it wasn't? The motion light in my backyard suddenly blazed on, and I peered through the blinds but saw nothing. Sometimes cats triggered it, but the light stayed on for 30 seconds, went off, then immediately turned on again like something was moving out there in deliberate patterns. I grabbed the biggest knife from the kitchen and my phone to call 911 again, but then I stopped because if Jackson was out there and heard sirens, he'd just run and come back later when I wasn't expecting it. Maybe tonight while I was sleeping, or tomorrow at the park when my guard was down. The motion light went off and the house fell silent except for Lily's breathing against my shoulder. Then I heard the sound of the bathroom window sliding open, the one I'd checked 3 times, but the lock must have been broken, or he'd broken it from outside.